Specialist Christopher Patrick of Bravo Battery 427, 2nd Brigade, 1st Armored Division, practices his landing techniques during Raven training at Fort Bliss on August 28th. The unique design of the Raven makes it possible for a crash landing without any damage to the aircraft. Specialist Patrick, among others, is refreshing the skills he will need to pilot the Unmanned Aerial Vehicle, or UAV, in a combat zone.
You can use it in just about any mission imaginable. For recon, you could use it for finding IDs, you could use it for, counter surveillance sometimes.
Every 7 months, operators go through refresher training in order to stay current with their license to fly the UAV. Reporting from Fort Bliss, Texas, I'm Specialist Kelsey Wagner.
I'm Drew from Goat Built, and I'm going to demonstrate the shock spacer install tool. Many of the common off-road shocks use a 1/2-inch ID bearing. The problem is that the spacers they give you are also 1/2-inch ID, and there's no step to hold it inside the bearing. Now when you go to install it, you have to hold the spacers to the side of the bearing, stick it in your chassis mount, and try to line it all with a bolt hole, all while holding a heavy coilover shock. So the Goat Built shock spacer install tool is a 1/2-inch diameter pin that has 3 detent balls. So what you do when you install your shocks, you simply just install this into your shock bearing, and then you install the spacers on each side, and the detent balls hold the spacers in place. So without the spacers, this is how troublesome it is to install. You have to hold the spacers just right, get it installed. Get your bolt in. And then when you take it apart, the spacers fall everywhere. So this is the normal method of installing a coilover shock without the shock bearing install tool. So you got to hold these spacers on the side of the shock, all while holding up the shock. Then you have to install it in your mount and hold the spacers to get it started. Okay, and then you got, well, then they fall out. So after you pick up your spacers from the floor, try it again. Install it, there you go. You gotta hold it up. Gotta get the shock bolt and you gotta line it all up. So the Goat Built shock spacer install tool, basically you install the spacer into the bearing, the detent balls hold it in, the spacer on either side. And now it holds the spacers on the shock, so you can move the shock, drop it, move it around any way you want. Now you can line it up in the mounts really easily. Install your bolt. It's done. Now these can also be used to remove the shock. Basically you just push the bolt out with the spacer and pull the shock out. So the spacers stay on the shock, they don't fall to the ground and get lost.